Welcome to another weekend here on the platform. My name is Sam Omashaye. My column will be read to you shortly.
It all seemed surreal. We had just come from a drama of the courts. Now we were back there. Something startled where we thought we were safest. We were trying to murder the court. We were trying to turn it to a toy, a diabolical trump card of our body politic. Enter Imo, enter Bielsa, enter the courts, exit the people. Is it the new way out of log jams now? If Imo and Bielsa states fell because the courts say so, are we now a conclave of technicalities? The APC is trying to show us a new tapestry of justice. We saw that last week in a tussle to oust its warrior chairman, Adams Oshomole. For less than 24 hours, a coup boiled over. An Abuja court gave its order. Its national secretariat yielded to a military-era barricade, and Adams' foes could not rein in their ecstasy of celebration. They want Adam's apple. Like Tantalus in the Greek myth, the fruit has eluded the groping hands. It has been a game of tease. Adams responded like a lone and martial fashionista with grenades hanging like beads all over his body, a sort of political Schwarzenegger with a flaw. His roar was at once beaten and defiant. Meanwhile, many wondered why Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi promptly had the president's audience, to make it a fait accompli or to plead the president should stay out of the fray. Then came a counterpunch. Abuja court did not have federal powers, so the Kano court struck for Adams, and we returned to the status quo ante, as lawyers say glibly. It was Adams' turn to meet with the president. The two faces that have shown prominence in this drive to oust Adams are Adams and Governor Fayemi. Right now, nothing seems clear about the future of the party because of what started as an effort by Obaseki to turn his newfound privilege into a tapestry of betrayal against Adams. This is the man who took over a party, worked it to win the presidency in a fraught election, won more governors than the opposition, secured the legislative chambers, including the positions of Senate President, Speaker, and Deputy Senate President. Did he make mistakes? Of course. We cannot forget Zamfara State, Bayelsa State, and the juvenile rumbles in River State. The APC, including the president, must be weary of the party crumbling under the aggressive hubris of a few. The PDP are only gloating in silence. For an APC fall means a PDP takes advantage. Or maybe a new party is in the offing, and we don't know. From the start, the party has been a hodgepodge of interests and egos. It takes a perceptive leader to harness them. It worked twice in 2015 and 2019. The question is, how long will it last?
Welcome to Big Talk. I have a very special guest with me today. He is no other than the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Well, I'll start by expressing my deepfelt condolence on the loss of your dear father.
Thank you.
Yes, but drawing from there, there are so many people came across political aisles, it's also industry, traditional rulers, and so on. And people started to wonder, what is going on in this country? If people can come together across aisles and across all those divides that continue to plague this country, is the political elite playing a game against us? What happened in Akwa Ibom?
What you saw, first of all, by my own principle and background, let me first of all appreciate God for such a successful exit of my beloved father, and also use this platform to express our appreciation to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, the Vice President, Pastor Professor Ayo Shibanjo, and the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Rep, all my colleague governors, former Senate President, former presidents, and we've taken time to actually name these people in our appreciation messages across. But what you saw that day, I will not be telling you the truth if I say I had control. I would say here that God was totally in control. I lack words to give an interpretation to that. But I just believe God just chose to honor my father and to also honor us. And I try to play down the political undertone that a lot of people are trying to look at. No, not at all. I want to look at it as was just an honor from God for now. And allow others to play the political undertone. It would be quite wrong of me to play any undertone on that. But what I saw that they cut across political, ethnic, religion, and name it, all sorts, gender and the rest of them. And I just thank God that I went that way. And everybody came in a very safe manner, and they all left in a very safe manner. Nothing happened to anybody. And such a thing goes beyond politics. It goes beyond really, you can only attribute such to God. So when you now say you want to know what happened, I know what everybody wants to hear is what's the political undertone. I want to take it off that political platform for now, sir.
Okay, now you've been in the saddle for 5 years. Some people have said one of the things that can set you apart without looking at the roads and the schools and all of this, the fact that Akwa Ibom has experienced a bout of, shall I say, silence. Does it talk about the difference between your own personality and that of Godswill Akwa Ibom? How will you say to that?
Well, let me still come out in my own way. Number one, I didn't come into governance as a measure of comparing myself with any other person. No. I run my race in the style and manner and life principle that God has actually given me to. A whole lot of silence. I can't be good in everything. If I'm good in doing what I'm assigned to do, I shouldn't be good in also making noise. Because I discovered they don't go together. Let me do the work, let the work speak, and let the people have praise. And there's this portion in the Bible that people may not actually appreciate what you're doing, and that hereinafter there will come a time that people will appreciate. I see that a whole lot in governance and what we do in government. When you are in the, when you're in the saddle, a whole lot of things. But it's also good because even the Bible says that you must rule in the midst of your enemies. And it puts you on your toe, makes you sit up. But once you want to take any decision, take any action, you assess it critically. How does this go? I mean, check to make sure that it's aligned with probably your goals and what you set out to. And let me also say something here. I'm one of the governors that came into governance with a blueprint. Every single moment we have that blueprint. There is no minute you see me in my office and you won't see my laptop, which has my blueprint.
The 5-point agenda.
Not just the agenda. That's just a broad base, something that people want to see. But the nitty-gritty, it's like you starting a new business. You're expected to develop a proper business plan. What's your full business case? How do you run about this? What are the nitty-gritty of it all? So we have that also in governance. Even the quality of human resource that we need, what we need to do at each point in time. And also we have a sensitivity analysis in terms of resources. If this is what you set out to do and the resources are not there, what do you do? But let me also quickly say something that a lot of people may not know. You see, what we are getting today as government, I'm a man of numbers and I want to be proven wrong. Whoever wants to prove this wrong should come out on a public debate so that we come out with numbers. It's less than 30% of what we used to get. And there's also something people don't know. I wanted to ignore, but because you've given me time, let me also address that straight ahead now. I heard one of the indigents of this state ranting over the radio that we were reimbursed on federal roads that were constructed. want to just give you an example. The Uyo Ikore-Ekpene Road, initial contract that I inherited from the books. I have all the records, I can provide everything. I inherited the job, inherited the contract. So even the money I received from the federal government on reimbursement of the roads we did earlier could not even fix that to the end. But today, we've done that road about 98% complete, and by end of March, we'll have been 100% complete. And even outside that, let's also look at, in terms of even the roads from between Uyo and Itu, and that Odokpani Road, we had a total collapse. The road separated into two. I can confidently say that whatsoever we put on ground today, we can account for every penny that we've collected. And what we have on ground, even in terms of infrastructure that we put on ground, is much more than the money that we've collected. Looking at the inflation, looking at the exchange rates, and then looking at what we put on ground. So I just don't like joining issues with people. But at times, it's also good to educate people on some of these things. And if they want us to actually lay everything on the table, we have these records one by one that we can also lay out, and then let's compare notes. People, stadium. I don't know whether Nigerians know that the stadium that we have had never generated 1 naira. I'm running an airport. It's a privately owned airport owned by the state government. We upgraded the runway to category 2 runway systems. And our instrument landing systems and everything, you can cross-check this. These are all things maintained by the state government. So at times too, you just owe the public these explanations so that they will also know that probably what those people go to see to you over the radio or the blackmail or the malignment that people just go about talking does not actually make sense. I just don't want to join issues with those people. If they want us to join issues, I'd like to invite them into a public debate. I don't want to mention their names, they know themselves. Let's join ourselves in a public debate. Let me come up with all necessary documents. You know I'm good at documentation. I have all the documents, I will bring it out to the public one by one, and then we explain ourselves. And at the end of the day, let's see who is saying the truth and who is not saying the truth. But by and large, I thank our people because they appreciate what we've done. I thank the Akwa Ibom people, they appreciate what we've put in place. Even take, for example, agriculture. What we've put in place in terms of agriculture for food sufficiency in this state, I'm not boasting. Every single farmer appreciates it. And as I'm talking to you today, we even set up a microfinance bank that is purely for farmers, trying to manage those microcredit schemes for farmers to work, and a whole lot of input. So if I want to take this sector by sector, subsector by sector, I will let you know what we've done. Is it in agri, in health, in education, in power, in infrastructure? Is it aviation development that we're number 1 in the entire Africa? Let somebody tell me any state in Africa today that has put up the kind of aviation development that we've put up. Not even one. One of those CRJs you see flying is as good as a brand new, because year of manufacture is 2014. One of those CRJs 900 you see us flying, mint, new, can get us some of the 737 that they fly in Africa up to 4. One can buy 4 of those 737 that we fly in Africa. But we're after quality, we're after service, we're after safety, and then we're after also carving out a niche on that things we can do and then do well and do things properly. But let me rest my case there.
Well, this shows that there's a lot of tension between you and your predecessor.
No tension at all.
But what you have said now with comparing notes, it shows that...
No, I'm not comparing notes with anybody. I'm just trying to analyze to you what we've done with what we've collected. No tension at all. If you observe, I have never one day, and one politician that no single day in my life have I mounted a podium and mentioned any political party.
Yeah.
When I go for campaign, I just tell people what I can do for them. I have never mentioned any individual and any campaign that I go. I've never collected a microphone to talk about people. I don't talk about people. Great minds don't mention people. We discuss issues. We discuss ideas. We discuss matters that benefit our own people. So if people tell you that, no, that it's not me, it's not Udom Emmanuel, I'm sure you've never read anywhere.
I'm not.
You've never heard anywhere. I've never been quoted anywhere of saying anything about anybody.
Some people have looked at it and said, why doesn't he take him on? I mean, Akwa Ibom, and is it that he's afraid of him, or he doesn't want to fight, or he doesn't want to?
No, people are bound to read meanings into anything they want to read. But you see, if you are about 55 years of age,
Yes.
being in office for less than 5 years should not change who you are. So everybody have who they are, even God himself. God has some personal attributes that cannot share with anybody. He's omnipotent, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent. He doesn't share those attributes with anybody. Same thing with man. You should have a certain attributes that no man can bend you. Such is, no matter what people say, it cannot change who I am. I will never sit in a public to discuss another individual. I don't do such things. It doesn't rhyme with my own character trait. I don't do that. And you will never hear me being quoted anywhere that I was discussing Sam or this or that. No, I don't do that. I will not do it. So no matter how people want to term it, whether people say, that's what people say.
Yes.
Initially, before we went into second term election.
Yes.
So some people say, he's like a gate man. You don't need permission to remove your gate man. He was this, he was that. I just kept quiet. My brother Sam, the best way of responding to an insult is result. So we just kept quiet. We went after result. And the result now had proven something completely different. That all the rantings and all the boastings of people, all the, what they say, wasn't actually correct. The result speaks everything. So we have certain things, certain life principles that have already been established. You can't rewrite those things. So let people say what they want to say. But for me, I will never get a platform, either electronic, print, or anything, or be quoted anywhere of discussing people. I don't discuss people. I didn't discuss political parties. I only mind my own business. I only know what God had called me to do. And mind you, a rat and a lizard, they might be going towards the same direction, but they run two different races and two different styles. So we have our own style, we have our own way of doing things and so on. But it's not what people also want us to do. But forget what people say. Whether they call it this or that, I only know about myself. You see, there's something Africans do that we don't understand the implication. It's called contradiction of belief. Contradiction of belief. It is only in Africa you see somebody going to church and on a Saturday he must have been at the Ekpo masquerade venue.
Yes.
Then on Sunday he's a pastor in church. It's called contradiction of belief. So if
syncretism.
Absolutely. If Nigerians know me as that professional in politics, I must represent my constituency very well. So I can't be talking like, what they expect any other person to talk. Because, I came with an identity. And those identities should not just be changed after 55 years of existence. Those identities cannot be changed in less than 5 years in office. Your office should not change you. You should change certain things that happen in that office. If you are one person that moves to and fro anyhow, it's called a reach, and I'm not that kind of a person. So I have personal, life that nothing can change me. So I love to live that way, and I love to also be seen that way. So we are here to work, and we just face the work that we are doing, and we'll do it well. And then once it's our own time, then we'll go, another person will come and take over.
The second term is looked at as a term of sometimes laziness and self-satisfaction, or some others see it as a term of legacy. How are you combining the tension of just not doing anything and looking at what the history is going to say about you along the line?
If you listen to my victory speech, immediately won an election, I announced to everybody that this is a time to work. You can't come into second term in office the way I came in and then you let your people down. It was an absolute endorsement by my people. From the voting age to age 90, it was one election that you could see an 86-year-old woman trying to drag with a walking stick just to go and vote for Udom Emmanuel. So you can't let people down. It is not time to rest. It's not in my dictionary. It's a time to work. I see second term as a time to work, not a time to rest. And you see also, I keep talking about contradiction of belief. If what we believe, I keep saying the best leadership book I've ever read or ever heard of or ever seen in my life is the Holy Bible. It is the best. Look at all developed nations.
Even Lincoln said it.
All developed nations today, whatsoever you see that are keeping them going, all are Bible principles. You see, even in Bible, the Bible will tell you that the end of a thing is better than the beginning
thereof. Yes.
So if the end is expected to be better, that's not the time to go and rest. That's not the time to go and sleep. It's the time to even work harder because you're expecting something much better and something that
you've been doing some federal roads and so on. You know, the federal government has said that they would not pay,
will reimburse. Yes.
Does that affect your capacity to perform? Because do you even agree with that kind of principle?
I don't. I'm one person that I don't believe in state and federal road anything, because same thing with the university that we have here. Fine, the lecturer, everything could be federal, but if you look at it, almost 80% of the students in the federal university here are Akwa Ibomites. So when you're talking federal road in your state, how many people who are staying in Lagos come to ply that road on a daily basis? It's your people. So whatsoever you can do to ameliorate the problems of your people, you can do it. I want to also say here, you may not appreciate what we've done, but look at the dualized roads that we've constructed in this state. Then, if you drive through them, you'll be convinced that we've done something. We've done something remarkable. And before we leave office, somebody should be able to drive from Uyo into Atlantic Ocean, dualized thoroughfare. Because between Uyo and Etinan, Julius Berger is dualizing, is ongoing. Between Etinan and Eket, CCC is on. Between Eket also and the Atlantic Ocean, which is the QIT terminal, CCC is running. Then you now come and take from Uyo to Ikorekbene, 100% dualized. These are all things that, I mean, in most places, federal government should do. Even the East-West road, from where they stop and where we've taken them to now, to join with all 100%. Everybody knows East-West Road was a federal government project. Yes. But because, I mean, it was giving a lot of hardship to my people, I had to come in to make it more tolerable and make it very good for our people. So, as much as I know that had been the structure on ground, but it doesn't favor us at this moment. So we must look at how we can do something that is good and will also favor my own people. I might not wait for that. Looking at terms of, oh, this is federal, this is state. We'll continue to do it. Whether they refund the money or not, we will look at what is good for your people. What did you actually promise your people you do? I mean, people must see the essence of your being in office and also how you bring in creativity and ideas into running and also creating something out of nothing. And I keep telling people, a lot of people come, where did you get the money from? I told them, well, that's the difference between probably what we are doing and what people expected us to do. That we may not have cash, but at times we create money to be able to keep working what we are doing. And there's a difference between cash and money. So we try to get these things done. We may not have cash, but at times we create money, but there's also a limit. Every single resource on planet created by God is limited. So we have limited resources, but we are not limited with ideas and creativity. That God has given us in abundance. But I'm sure in the next 2 to 3 years, we should be able to wrap up what we call the completion agenda and then see how it ends. But I know it should end well because we mean well. We serve our people with all amount of sincerity, extremely transparent way of governance, highly accountable, with high level of integrity that we bring to governance, so that people can see through. And people can also see our sincerity of purpose and then what we do. And I know you tried to touch a little about Ibom Airlines. I want you to create a time and a platform where I can take you through from the initial documentation of our manuals.
And the bomb ports too.
Yeah, and the deep sea port. From initial documentation of our manuals to our business case to how we are running. And it might interest you to know that those guys are running 100% a professional business with all the 7 A's of management present. Every time we meet, we tick to ensure the 7 A's of management is present in what you do. What are your strategy, your systems, your structure, your style,
Yeah.
your shared values, your style. We get all ticked one by one. And even as a governor, I have never one day recommended even a cleaner to be taken out from air. Never. So we are running a very professional airline that people will copy, and the same thing with most of our business that we put on ground. I'm sorry you don't have much time for me to take through, but I want to believe you create a platform,
Yes,
where we will take on this thing one by one, and then
problem.
get things sorted out.
Well, this has been a very interesting interview with the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel. Thank you very much, sir, for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Just before the program ends, this is my poem in honor of Leah Sharibu.
If you fast Leah, let him starve. If you bleed or make bleed on nightly bed, make him lust and limp. If you farm or hunt, make him gaunt with want. Ban the barn, bind him blind, play mother hen with guile wiser than biceps. Only no harm to that little soul. Half you, half him in your arms.
We should cancel the sports festival. US is on lockdown with more than 40 dead. It's reckless to do it because some officials eye juicy deals and Esther codes. One victim can spark a national emergency. Quiet limbs are better than body bags. Don't do it.
Thank you for watching the program today. You can catch up with my published column on www.samomashaye.com. Also follow me on Twitter. My handle is @samomashaye. And until next time, be good.